Hello again, everybody. I'm going to do a quick run through on my Battlefleet that I've built. Now I'm going to try to squeeze this all into one video, so I'm going to make this as quick as possible, do a quick run through. Anyways, looking at my fleet I have assembled here, I tried to cover each different type of battleship. I have over there a Battlecruiser, a destroyer, a carrier slash, I'd say mobile starbase, a frigate, and a Dreadnought. And I'm also trying to follow a theme here in terms of weapons. As you can see, this is I'm calling this an axe class Dreadnought. It's shaped like a small hand axe. This is a spearhead class frigate. This is a tower shield class carrier. This is a Warhammer class destroyer, and that is a Claymore class battlecruiser. Anyways, that aside, I'm going to do a quick tour of each ship. We will begin with the frigate. Now this is reasonably armored, not too much, not too little, reasonably armed too, only has broadside armaments, very maneuverable. Let's pop down the stairs here. It has one access point on top, and its cockpit is guarded by a little bit of security. I try not to go too heavy on the internal turrets, but you need to watch your back somehow, literally. Anyways, there's a small engineering bay, grav generator, at about the center of the ship, maybe toward the aft a little bit. Gyros on the internal. Anyways, I'll move this forward so we can get a good look at how it handles and its specs. Obviously, being a frigate, it's a little faster than my other ships. Get it to a safe distance out here. I was kind of going for the spearhead theme. As you can see, it's supposed to be a spearhead with serrated sides. Low profile. I'm going for low profile on all my ships too, because I'm not really a huge advocate of ramming, but I'd like to kind of keep the form factor to accommodate counter ramming, or making it difficult to ram. You can see its specs on the lower right hand side. No reflectors. Alrighty, next we'll cover the Dreadnought here. Now this, not quite as heavily armored as my Battlecruiser, but large payload of broadside weapons and top weapons, and it even has prow weapons on the axe head. I'll get down there in a second. Overall, this is a middle-of-the-road cruiser. Not too maneuverable, not too cumbersome, just about average. Pretty heavy, but not too heavy. Now for the interior, this one's a little bit confusing. By design though, I like to keep this ship a little bit of a pain in the butt to board. Anyways, here's the main deck. You can see the welcome mat right there. Moving forward, we have our gyroscopes and our forward grav generators. A little excessive on the gyroscopes, I know, but I like my ships to turn. Like I said, I'm going for counter ramming. I don't want to get rammed. I've seen a lot of ships that are designed for ramming, and though it is a lot of fun, I'm kind of going for survivability. Back here we have engineering. I know there are staircases everywhere. Engineering, kind of cramped, houses all the reactors, easy access. Yeah, we've been forward already. Now we'll check out the second level to forward. On the second story there is a medical bay and cargo storage. kind of low-key out of the way. And to find the bridge, I left a little hint. I put a reactor down there, not by intention, but it's a little giveaway, because with all these here, with all these ladders, it makes it very confusing to know where you're going on this ship. So it's kind of laid out to be that way. Anyways, this is how we get to the bridge. Aft grav generator. Little bit of a hike. Not quite as low profile as my other ships in terms of bridges go. A little snug, not quite as fun as my Battlecruisers, but it does the job. Fairly well armored. Fairly well reinforced. Still, I don't want to take a direct hit to the bridge. It handles pretty well. Not quite as heavy as the cruiser. Just heavy enough, as heavy as it needs to be. Streamlined, I'd say, in terms of armor. Alright, next we can check out the Warhammer class destroyer. Small, compact, fairly maneuverable. Maneuvers by the ass end, so the hammer's always forward, and the hammer is very heavily armored, as you may have figured. Low profile bridge. Plenty of vectoring or maneuvering thrusters. Same access point as the Dreadnought as well. Alright, so inside this is a little streamlined. I tried to keep this one simple. So first we'll check out the forward decks. Got cargo and some generators. Med bay in the hammer. This hammer is very dense, but I like to kind of utilize it. I had a little bit of fun with the insides here. Auxiliary generator rooms and gyros, forward gyros. Everything's pretty symmetrical, but I tend to err on the side of asymmetry on my insides, even though the outsides are pretty symmetrical on all my craft. So here's external access once again. Pretty simple. Here's the path to the bridge. Oh, I lied. I don't know my ship very well. These are actually more gyroscopes. Oh, okay, I remember now. Yeah, pardon me on that. Don't know the ship as well as I thought I did. Here's how we get to the bridge. And there's access. There's 3 points of access here, I believe. There's bridge, main deck, and entrance. So essentially the access to the ship will lead you to the bridge, which tactically might not be the smartest thing, but I have turrets and doors to go through, so hopefully it works. Plus the entrance point is very small, and to get to it would be pretty risky. Handle's pretty nice. Doesn't feel quite as nice as the Dreadnought does for some reason. Good at turning, not very fast in terms of acceleration. Alright, now I've already done a video, my first video in fact, of this ship. Nothing's changed. It's actually still my favorite ship I've built. Turns really well, maneuvers really well for its size, being the largest ship I have. Heaviest too, even heavier than the carrier slash starbase. The reason the prow is so long in relation to the actual body of the ship is simply for its low profile. It's meant to deflect potential rammers, so quite literally it's a sword fighter. So any rammers that can kind of take the initiative in choosing the orientation of battle just due to its really tight ability to turn and lengthy prow. So that was my frame of thought there. I want to avoid getting rammed at all costs. So I'm just going to leave this here because we already looked at it in my first video, and I'm going to do a quick tour of this massive carrier. Now most ships are horizontal, so I thought it'd be fun to build a vertical ship. So I have my snub fighter up there. As you can see, it can house a lot of fighter craft, whereas that can only I think that can hold I'd say 3 per pylon. That could squeeze a lot more than, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 with legroom on each deck. Okay, so moving down, we'll start with engineering. So as I'd mentioned before, there may be a little bit of light glitch in this one. I reached my cube limit, so I can no longer build anything in this world. I'm going to have to start a new world. Anyways, here's engineering in the bowels of the ship. Lower grav generators. Yeah, pardon the epileptic seizures. Game is still not yet optimized. Here we have crew quarters. Little dormitories. And there's a lot of light in here. Now in each bay I put a searchlight. I'm thinking about actually taking those down. They're kind of gratuitous since I have the runway lights. So anyways, yeah, the decks are pretty self-explanatory. We saw them on approach. The landing bays are well protected by Gatling guns. So now we'll quickly race up the ship's spinal column. Here we are. Now this would be bridge access, which is why it's a little more heavily guarded. So I had some fun with the bridge on this ship. You get a pretty good view. And above the bridge is kind of a auxiliary engineering deck. I seem to have a lot of those. Huge bulkhead to protect these gyros and generators. In the back, in the aft side here, we have generators, rear engines. Yeah, pardon the glitchy lighting. So back to the bridge. Let's take this for a spin. We'll get a good view of it. Oddly, not as heavy as my cruiser. It doesn't turn worth a damn, but it accelerates pretty quick. I have so far. This world's mostly dedicated to warships. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Have a good one.